everyone, my first name is Anna, and my last name is Rexia. I don't want to appropriate African culture, but I haven't eaten in 3 days. Get help, stick figure! Hi everyone, my name is Little Debbie, and I just ate my 3rd Big Mac, but my body is perfect and beautiful just the way it is.
What a huge inspiration!
Hey there everybody, Hunter Avallone here, and welcome to another video. Now, today's video topic is pretty intense, and I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm trying to hurt everyone's feelings. Today I am talking about Eugenia Cooney and what we can learn from her situation within the context of the body positivity movement. And don't worry, this is not going to be some sad emotional dribble.
Like someone that was so sweet.
Instead, today's video is going to look critically at the Eugenia situation and the jarring contradiction with how internet culture handles people who are underweight versus overweight. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is Eugenia Cooney. And just if I could doesn't mean I should, so I'm not going to make fun of the way this girl looks. I'm not going to make even the smallest, skinniest, flimsiest roast about this girl's appearance. Eugenia has been a controversial figure online for a while now, and she's kind of become the poster child for malnutrition and unhealthy eating behavior. She recently rose to heightened relevance after Shane Dawson posted an hour-long documentary discussing her struggles and her slow recovery process. I think this documentary inadvertently shed light on the hypocrisy within internet culture and how the body positivity movement pushes for skinny people to change while glorifying fat people. Truth is, Eugenia Cooney is one side of an extreme. On one side of the extreme, you have Eugenia and others who are dangerously underweight, whereas on the other side of the extreme, you have people who are dangerously overweight. Now we'll get to the Krispy Kreme fan club shortly, but let's start with the health risks associated with being underweight. Being underweight puts you at an even greater risk of dying than being overweight. According to Science Daily, adults who are underweight with a BMI under 18.5 or less have a 1.8 times higher risk of dying than those with a, quote, normal BMI of 18.5 to 24.9. Besides a higher chance of literal death, being underweight is accompanied by risks of malnutrition, decreased immune function, higher risk of complications during surgery, fertility issues, and development issues, especially in children and teenagers. Now, I know a lot of people are going to start whining at this point and saying things like, "Oh, Hunter, there are mental disorders that can play a role with being underweight also." I know there are, but disorders are irrelevant in the case of Eugenia or anyone else slowly killing themselves by depriving their bodies of the necessary nutrients. I'm not talking about medical physical problems here, okay? But the truth is, being underweight is both dangerous and irresponsible, and Eugenia or anyone else has a responsibility to take care of themselves. I'm really sorry if this hurts your feelings, but disorders do not exempt you from responsibility. You can choose to handle this situation with emotions and feelings, but that's not how I roll. Being underweight is dangerous, and Eugenia should be held responsible for allowing herself to become this dangerously underweight. Now, on the other side of the extreme, you have people who are overweight. This is a huge problem, literally. According to the National Institutes of Health, obesity and overweight together are the second leading cause of preventable death in the United States. There's no doubt that there's an obesity epidemic in this country, and being obese has its own set of dangerous health risks. Diabetes, heart disease, cancer, liver and kidney disease, and high blood pressure. As I said before, I know that mental disorders can play a role in being overweight just like being underweight, but they don't free you from guilt or give you justification in being complacent in an unhealthy lifestyle. Although these extremes aren't completely identical, they both deserve criticism and concern. They are both indicative of irresponsible behavior, and they both lead to long-term health problems. So why does the body positivity movement, as well as internet culture, treat being overweight so radically different than being underweight? This brings me to my second point. Truth is, the starkly different treatment of these extremes needs to stop. When Eugenia began her internet career, she quickly became the poster child for unhealthy eating behavior and was quickly thrown into controversy. It seemed everyone had an opinion on this girl, and it almost always revolved around her weight. Whether it was her friends forcing her into therapy, narcissistic losers trying to take credit for her recovery, or random viewers, one thing was for sure: the internet was concerned for Eugenia Cooney.
I would have people like my mom especially, and like my family and my parents and everything, that would be like, you really should be like, you know, taking care of yourself better and like eating more, and you know, like would be like bringing that up to me. And obviously like, the internet, there was a lot of people talking about that. I guess it's like in a way like kind of like maybe even like smoking or something.
This concern was well justified. It doesn't take a genius to look at Eugenia, especially in her older videos, to see that she is horribly unhealthy. I think the fact that this girl was constantly encouraged to change and get help is a good thing, and I'm very thankful to see that she is recovering in Shane Dawson's documentary. Throughout her ongoing struggle, her body has always been at the center of controversy, debate, and a strong push for her to change for the sake of her health. No one told Eugenia that she should just accept her body for the way it is, because everyone could tell her body was unhealthy. Why is there a body positivity movement focused on embracing fat people and contributing to America's obesity epidemic? Why is there a huge push for underweight people to change, but at the same time, a huge push for society to change for overweight people? We already went over the health risks associated with both extremes. Neither are good, and both are in need of a push to change for the better. So why are we only encouraging one side to change while embracing the other as strong, brave, and beautiful? I think good representatives of these extremes are Eugenia Cooney for being underweight and Tess Holliday for being overweight. Compare both these famous internet influencers. Eugenia is encouraged to change, ridiculed for her body, and told how unhealthy she is. Meanwhile, Tess Holliday is a body positivity model featured on the front cover of Cosmo. When Eugenia is criticized, the internet tends to agree. When Piers Morgan makes an excellent point about how showing Tess Holliday on the front cover of a magazine is no better than promoting size 0 models, Tess claps back against this fat shaming. Despite making videos largely irrelevant to her weight, Eugenia Cooney's body is always at the center of debate and controversy. Meanwhile, Tess Holliday, the woman who is literally famous for being a fat model, well, her body is none of your business. Historically, skinny people were glorified while overweight people were bullied. This was seen as a bad thing, so why are we reversing this negative trend? It's really quite pathetic that the body positivity movement treats overweight people like some sort of coddled, protected class, while either ignoring people who are underweight or attacking billboards that promote thin women. Did a doctor tell an obese patient that they're obese and need to lose weight? Well, according to Teen Vogue, that's fat shaming from doctors. Instead, you should look for a doctor who practices health at every size. When you compare the treatment of both extremes, it's obvious that something is off. It's ridiculous that even the mainstream media is encouraging a victim mentality for fat people while underweight people are rightfully told to change. Why do fat people get a giant safe space, a huge movement telling them they're beautiful no matter what, and 400 plus victim points, when underweight people are forced into therapy and told to get help from everyone online? Truth is, both extremes need to change. Here's an idea. Let's encourage both overweight people and underweight people to change for the better. Celebrating fat people as brave, courageous models is no better than celebrating underweight people as perfect, flawless individuals. Both extremes have their issues, and both extremes should be criticized with concern and medical evidence backing said concern. I think the response Eugenia received for her unhealthy lifestyle was largely justified and good. But now I think it's time to offer the same level of criticism and concern for overweight people as well. Both extremes are risking their health and even their lives, and condemning one side while protecting the other is no way to go about things. Both underweight and overweight people are responsible for their unhealthy lifestyle, regardless of any mental disorders that may play a role. I think it's important to hold these people responsible for themselves, but it's also very important that we criticize the hypocritical manner in which we handle these extremes as well. The cultural differences of how we treat these extremes need to be criticized at a much greater level than any individual who is underweight or overweight. All in all, Eugenia Cooney has revealed the jarring hypocrisy with how we handle weight issues, especially online. And that's the truth about Eugenia Cooney.